Hi team, my name's Carly. I'm going to help you navigate your UCAN. So follow me right this way and we will get started. Let me go ahead and share my screen. All right. So first things first, congratulations on taking the first step towards getting licensed. We're going to be here every step of the way to help you along that process. So when we're logging into UCAN which is the leading website when it comes to getting your insurance license, we are going to go to www.ucanpass.com. Okay. Once we're here, your upline should have provided you with your login information. So by now, we should already be in the system. We should already be going along the way of getting our license. So we are not going to click on new users. We're going to click on returning users, meaning we already set up the account with our email, with our password. Okay. So once we click on returning users, it's going to take us here. We are going to put our personal email. This is not for the Primerica email. This is going to be our personal email and the password that we created for our study system. And we're going to press login. Once we're here, this is just some information about the customer service for ExamFX. We can just close out of there. If you ever did need to speak to them directly, you're having issues with your login, you can contact your upline and your upline can help you with that, okay? So we'll press launch course in the corner. And then right here, it's going to say click here to launch your course one more time. We're going to press on that. And it's going to load and bring us to the main page. Okay, so yours, when you're brand new, is going to be kind of empty. This could be in light mode, which is how I have it, and dark mode where it's black. Either way, it should be laid out the same. The chapters are going to be top to bottom. You're going to have a couple different things. So first, if you ever need to get back to the home page, this is your home button. You're going to press on ExamFX and it will bring you right back to all of the chapters in sequence. When you're like in the chapters, sometimes it can be confusing how to get back. Second, right here is the required time. So here in California, where I am, we have 32 hours online that need to be completed. Okay, so with this, it's going to show us on the bottom, once we start our hours and we spend some time on here, it's going to show us how many hours we have logged in this site. So in this case, this recruit needs 32 hours in order to take their exam. It has to be met. Now on the bottom, it says that they have been logged in 19 hours, 9 minutes, and 7 seconds. Okay. So that on the bottom is keeping track of your time. If your upline's asking you, hey, where are you at with your hours? You can tell them, I'm 19 minutes in, or I'm 19 hours in, I have this many to go, or I'm this many chapters in, I have this many to go, okay? So the next one I wanna bring you to is going to be the chapters. So right here is the chapters section, right? With the chapters, they are going to go in unison top to bottom. Like I said, when it's your first time logging in, there's going to be no progress. So all of them are going to be empty and they're going to look, oh, this person actually has made progress on all their chapters, but they'll be empty and it doesn't say anything for the chapter quiz in the corner. It'll just say, it'll be blank, okay? So, and instead of review, it should say launch, I believe. So the first one, we need to go through each and every chapter in order. We can't skip around until we open up the chapters. So you'll go one by one. Let's go here. We're going to click the little box in the corner. Like I said, I believe it says launch or start. You'll click on that. Now, to get progress through, and in order to take your quiz, you need to press every single chapter. Okay, so if you can tell, yes, this is chapter 1, but they have it broken up into smaller subcomponents. right? Like smaller subsections. And to be honest, this is great. Compared to how it used to be, this is absolutely great because it's very easy to understand. The sections are not all crammed together. You can do them one at a time, and the information is very easy to get through. So these are not super huge chapters. We just need to make sure to go through and skip to the end of every single one. So see how I'm not really, you're welcome to read through it, right? Actually, I recommend that you read through it because it's going to talk to you about all of the words, the terminology, all of the information that's going to be on your test is here for you to study. So I'm going to be making videos to help you along with this. But to be honest, most of this information is all going to be right there on your screen and ready for you to study on your own time. So don't just depend on someone to walk you through it, right? Nowadays, they've made it very, very accessible, very easy to understand, very easy to study. So we're going to come all the way through, right? You get the point. We're going to go through every single section. There are small videos as well that kind of go through and ask you questions to get your brain going, but just make your way through it. At the end, there's going to be a chapter recap. This is great for studying, right? This is going to be almost like flashcards, right? Notes. Think of them that way, right? It'll have what are hazards. You're going to need to know that for your test. They are boom, boom, and boom. What is insurance? What's the definition? That's right there on the top, right? What is risk? Where's the way? What are the ways that we can avoid risk, that we can handle risk, right? What types of risk? You're going to need to know all of that on your test. Everything that's in the chapter recap is going to, they're telling you, they're saying, hey, this is what you need to study. A couple of years ago, before, or really a year ago, before this update, you had to kind of navigate through the chapters and have someone help you. But UCAN has really cut out all of the nonsense and really just gave you what you need to pass this exam. So do your due diligence, go through, really understand the material. If you have questions, ask someone who's been here for a while, right? Ask someone who sits with families. They're going to kind of understand this stuff. And if they don't, they can point you to someone who can. So we're going to go all the way through. And the last part is this chapter quiz. So this recruit has taken this chapter quiz bunches of times, right? Me personally, and you can see the attempts here, right? You can see the attempts. So his first attempt, he did not do too well, right? He didn't do very well. He got a 33%. But on my team, what I teach people is it doesn't matter, right? These are short quizzes. They're 12 question quizzes. Anybody could ask you 12 questions right now and you could answer them quickly, right? So 12 questions is not that much. I recommend that my team goes through and takes this chapter quiz multiple times, right? I don't know if you guys can see. Yes, you can see this. All of these attempts were done on the 13th, right? We always tell our team 5 to 10 quizzes a day. 10 preferably, right? There's no less than 10, like 10 quizzes a day, because it's going to feed you different information every single time. And even if you're not reading the chapter, you're going to understand this information as you go. No one can tell me that if you don't quiz on something 10 times in a row, that you're not going to see the same question and go, oh, you know what? I remember what this is, right? It's a way to teach yourself, and it's going to ask you the questions that mimic what's on the test, right? So this is what it's going to look like. Let me get into the quiz. Hold on. There we go. Launch a review attempt, right? So it's going to ask you a question here. We're going to read through the question and we're just going to click something. So in this case, a person who does not lock doors or does not repair leaks shows an indifferent attitude. This person presents what type of hazard, right? Is it morale? Is it moral? Is it physical? Is it legal? In this case, it's a morale hazard. So we're going to enter it. Even when you're correct, it's still going to give you an explanation, which is great because it's teaching you while you take the quiz, right? Let's just say we get it wrong. Hopefully I got that wrong. I didn't even read it. Perfect. Even if we get it wrong, it's still going to give us an explanation. So what I want you to do is to quiz more than reading and taking notes. Right? And I know this may seem a little controversial for people, but I promise you it's going to be a more efficient way. I would like for the team to quiz much more often than just reading, okay? Because you're getting instant correction, instant answers, right? You might think that it's one thing and it's not. So we want to make sure that we quiz. We understand why the answer is that way. Okay, so that's what we're going to do for the chapters. Once you pass the quiz, right, which I believe, I want to say they make you pass it with a 75, right? A 75 or higher. I mean, obviously shoot for the highest score you can get, but once you pass that quiz, I want you moving on to the next chapter immediately. When you are clearing your hours and your quizzes, we're not necessarily taking all the time in the world to study. We want to make sure we open all of these chapters and open all of the quizzes and pass them before we start, okay, I'm going to take days on chapter 1 only, right? We want to be efficient about this because those requirements need to be met in order to even apply to get your license, right? So we need those 32 hours done as fast as possible. We need the quizzes done and out of the way as fast as possible. We need the practice exam done as fast as possible. The readiness exam done as fast as possible. We don't necessarily need to be shooting for 100% every time, right? Do we want to get the best score that we can? Absolutely. But what we should do is open these chapters up, right? Take all the quizzes, open all of it up, then go back and study. Then go back and study. Do not spend so much time on one chapter and then end up 3 weeks later still doing hours or chapters, right? We want to open them up as soon as possible. Just get that passing score, move on to the next, okay? So those are the chapters. Hopefully I was super clear on the easiest way to do that. Like I said, you can study any way that you would like, right? I've just been doing this business for over 6 years now and tutoring people for over 6 years now. And I've seen it with a lot of people. They mean to do the best, right? Sometimes people want the perfect score, right? Because in life, people tend to be that way. But what ends up happening is if we're not doing and we're just keeping ourselves busy, it doesn't get us closer to our license, right? So we want to make sure that we're checking in with our upline at all times, that we're getting the requirements cleared as fast as possible, right? And that once everything is, opened up, that we then start quizzing aggressively. A little story. My husband, who is dyslexic and an A-type personality, okay? He just does. He doesn't think, he just does, right? He's dyslexic. He has a very hard time testing. Very hard. We got started in this business and 2 weeks later, he had already been appointed. My husband At the time, we had much more chapters. There used to be 24 chapters for California. So you had to spend 10 hours on one or no, 20 hours on one and 12 hours on another section. It was a lot more than it is now. He stuck his head down. He cleared all the chapters and quizzes. And then what he did is he just quizzed and quizzed and quizzed and quizzed and quizzed. I'm telling you, this man maybe did 20 to 30 quizzes a day. Like, it was relentless. But he held the record in our office for getting licensed faster than anybody. Right? Just because he was constantly quizzing. Doing the quizzing is going to teach you the information that you need. So that's why I'm saying don't spend so much time reading, highlighting, making notes in our book. Do we want to do those things? Sure. Right? If you learn that way, perfect. But I promise you the quizzing is going to be your best bet. So once we finish one chapter, the next one will open up and we're going to do the same thing. So go all through the chapters, all the way through. There's a glossary for you for studying, but at the beginning of every chapter, it has the key words that you're going to need. And then along with it, these tutoring videos that I'm going to make are really going to help you. Okay, so we'll be able to send those out to you once they're ready, once you're ready for them, okay? So like I said, after the chapters are all complete, we're going to want to do a practice exam, okay? So with these practice exams, here in California, you only need a 62% to pass. 62, which is like a D. Anybody can pass this test, I promise you. In California, we are blessed. In other states, you might need a 70. Most states need a 70. Some states are very strict and they need a 75, but to be honest, most of the states are a 70. California is a 62% to pass. These practice tests, practice exams, are going to correct you as you go, which are good. Okay, so as you can see, this is one of my recruits' pages. He has taken the practice exam several times. Is he at where he needs to be yet? No, but will he get there? Absolutely. Absolutely. So it looks like he just took a test yesterday. So I would imagine that he's going to be taking them more often and going back and forth. What we want to see is that those scores are going up. If they are not going up, that means we're not studying our incorrect answers. We need to be looking at what we got incorrect after the exam, or else it doesn't help us. It doesn't do us any good, right? We need to be corrected. So make sure that we're studying that portion as well. When we start scoring high on our practice exam, we want to then move on to the readiness exam. This one is not going to correct us as we go. It's going to strictly test us as if we are there in person at the testing center, okay? So that needs to be done to show your upline, to show your RVP that you're ready to test, and we know that you're going to have a successful pass, okay? Because we don't want to set you up for failure. Next, we have a resource center, okay? So this resource center is great. Me personally, I haven't really used it, but some people might need something like this. So I'll show you what it is. So first are study tools or study steps. They're going to go through ways to study. Second, there's a study calendar. Okay, this will give you a breakdown on what you should do every day. For those people that need structure or like structure, there you go. It'll give you a little game plan, right? And then objectives. Right? Let's check objectives really quick. See. Okay, so this just looks like it's in different languages in order just to be more accessible. So that's perfectly fine. So for anybody who needs services in any other language, that last section would be where you would want to go. So my Spanish speakers, one, your upline should be able to help you. But two, if you really feel like you're more comfortable with Spanish than English, you can take the test in a different language, but I do not recommend it because oh, see, this is what I'm talking about with security questions. So every once in a while, it will ask for your security questions. Have that readily available so that you can make sure to verify your identity while you do it. Okay. So for the last section or the last part that I'm going to go over, it's going to be the certificate requirements. So there are completion requirements that need to be made, and I went over all of them already. So here it's just telling you that we must read all of the chapters and we must complete all of our quizzes. We need to do a practice exam and we also need to do a readiness exam before requesting to take our exam. So your RVP, your upline will know all about this. And then here it's saying that you must get a 70 on the practice exams. Like I said, on the actual exam in California, you only need a 62, but for the practice exams, for the pre-exams, right, all the studying portion, you need a 70. Okay, so I wish you guys all the absolute best of luck. Keep being in communication with your upline, keep being in communication with your RVP. This license gives you the ability to do so many things. I'm so excited for you. I promise you, if you just stick your head down for a week or two, anybody can pass this exam. So I'm excited to be able to help you with your licensing. If you have any questions, go ahead and reach out to the person you feel most comfortable with, whether it's on Telegram, text, call, get a hold of somebody and make sure that you shoot towards those goals. I hope you guys have a great day and I'll see you guys soon.